Can we treat food allergies completely? The short answer to this question is yes. Yes, it is possible to treat food allergies. How? This is exactly what we will discuss in detail in this video. So, welcome to the House of Roys. In the previous 3 videos, we saw how food allergies develop and how, to everyone's surprise, globalization is the main reason why the number of cases with food allergies is exploding globally like a pandemic. We also saw how food allergies can be prevented. If you haven't seen those videos, please go and watch. The link is in the description box. The biological and mental stress caused by today's globalization leads to chronic inflammation that actually cannot be prevented. This chronic inflammation has put us under tremendous risk of developing food allergies. We can control the inflammation using the 8 steps that we discussed in the previous video. These 8 steps are simple yet extremely powerful, and we will substantially reduce the risk of developing food allergies. Unfortunately, we cannot prevent globalization. So despite what we do, there will be cases where food allergies will appear. We started this video by saying that food allergies can be treated. So let's see how. The traditional approach to managing food allergies has been strict avoidance of food one is allergic to. But this approach is incorrect. By avoiding, you are simply telling the body's immune system that it was correct in recognizing that the allergic food was harmful to the body. If you want to really treat food allergy, you have to train the body to recognize the allergic food as harmless and tolerate the same. This training process to make the body tolerate to the allergic food substances is known as oral immunotherapy or OIT. Remember, OIT should be attempted by a trained physician. There are risks involved, and hence I do not recommend anyone to try this at home without medical supervision. So how to perform OIT? Simply introduce extremely small quantity of the allergic food substance. Now, if there is a reaction, stop. At such low quantities, the reaction will be mostly mild. Now, once the reaction is controlled and everything looks okay, introduce even smaller quantity of the same food. Continue this process until you reach a quantity in which the body does not react at all. Now, slowly, gradually, over several days, increase the amount of food in extremely small proportions. If there is any reaction, again, manage the reaction and lower the quantity of food. But do not stop this process. Slowly, within few days, you will be able to increase the food quantity without body reacting to it. Eventually, you will reach a point where body will not react at all to the consumption of that food. This entire process can take around 3 months to a year. Trick is to be patient and not give up. Another important point one must remember is that once you have been completely treated, you must ensure that you are consuming that food on a regular basis. If you don't do that, the food allergy can start again. To reduce the chances of reaction while performing oral immunotherapy or OIT, one can also overcook the allergic proteins before ingestion. Heat denatures or kind of destroys the proteins and breaks the molecular structures that make proteins so tough. It is known that children with milk and egg allergy may tolerate extensively heated forms of these proteins like hard-boiled eggs and boiled milk. My kid was around 2 years old when he was diagnosed with cow's milk allergy. We were recommended to avoid cow's milk completely. I'm a trained physician, and I know that avoidance will simply make cow's milk allergy a permanent thing for my kid. So I started introducing extremely small quantities of highly diluted cow's milk to my kid. Over the next 6 months, I gradually increased the quantity and concentration. My kid got cured of that allergy and till date easily drinks 2 glasses of cow's milk without any allergic reaction. I will repeat once again. OIT, oral immunotherapy, should be attempted only by a trained physician. Now, there is a secret sauce that might improve the success with OIT, and that secret sauce is meditation. Meditate before consuming the allergic food during OIT. Meditation calms the body, controls the inflammation, and helps body to accept and tolerate the allergic food. OIT has been studied extensively by many scientists. There are numerous published research papers demonstrating how effective OIT is in treating food allergies. For example, in April 2014, scientists at NHS UK presented their study on the effectiveness of oral immunotherapy for treating peanut allergy. This study was published in the prestigious Lancet journal. In this study, the scientists treated 39 patients with peanut allergy using OIT for 6 months. In 46 other patients, peanuts were avoided. Of those 39 patients who underwent OIT, 24 got successfully desensitized to peanuts and were able to tolerate 1,400 milligrams of peanut proteins. However, in the other group, where peanuts were avoided, none of the patients could tolerate peanuts at the end of 6 months. Similarly, in Jan 2022, Elizor et al. Published their findings from the famous Nutcracker study. In this, 50 cashew allergic patients underwent OIT for cashew proteins. 15 additional patients did not undergo OIT. They were kept away from cashew. After 6 months, 47 out of 50 patients who underwent OIT could eat 1,200 milligrams cashew without any reaction. All the patients who did not undergo OIT and avoided cashews continued suffering from cashew allergy. Based on these evidences, several countries and medical associations now recommend use of oral immunotherapy, that is OIT, primarily for treating food allergies. In Canada, OIT is recommended for all food allergies in children and adults. Spain recommends OIT for treatment of food allergies in children. The European Academy of Allergy and Clinical Immunology, EAACI, recommends OIT for all children who are more than 4 years old. Kids respond to OIT extremely well. They get treated quite fast without much reactions. Issues happen while treating adults. It takes pretty long time to treat an adult. Adults react often and their reactions are generally more severe. But the key is not to give up. In October 2022, Epstein-Rigby et al. Published a marvelous study on how food allergies can be treated using OIT. Now, in this study, there were more than 1,700 patients with various kinds of food allergies. Nearly 100 patients were adults over the age of 17 years, around 300 were adolescents aged 11 to 17 years, and around 1,300 were children between the age of 4 to 11 years. This study found that overall OIT was extremely successful in treating food allergies, but the treatment success was more if the age was lower. This study found that OIT was a bit challenging while treating food allergies in adults. Adults reacted more and responded less compared to children. Again, the key is not to give up. The only scenario where OIT might not be used is in those unfortunate patients who react violently even to the smallest possible amount of food they are allergic to. These are generally rare cases who have extremely high degree of inflammation. And only in these rare cases, there is no other option but to completely avoid allergic food. So now let's summarize key takeaway points on how to treat food allergies. When faced with food allergy, never resort to avoidance, take help of a trained physician and go for OIT, which is oral immunotherapy. Children respond to OIT faster, they rarely react, and most of the time these reactions are mild. In adults, OIT takes time, reactions are quite frequent and sometimes severe, but eventually in most cases OIT will treat food allergies. Finally, remember, there will be a small subset of patients who have such a high degree of inflammation in their body that they cannot be treated with OIT. These patients unfortunately have no option but to avoid allergic food substances completely. So we have now released 4 videos that explain how food allergies develop, why they are rising as a pandemic, how food allergies can be prevented, and how food allergies can be treated. Please do subscribe to the House of Roys as we will keep releasing such insightful videos here. Thank you.